acres of California's Big Sur region. Panic at a pride parade in Florida when a driver slams into a crowd, killing one person and injuring another. Fort Lauderdale detective Allie Anderson says they're looking into whether it was an accident.
We're speaking with all involved parties, to include witnesses, the driver. We're doing all that we can to make sure that we do the most complete and accurate investigation and don't rule out anything prematurely.
In central Wisconsin, another Pride event, this one without any issues. Organizers say it was the area's first official festival celebrating the community.
I just never thought it would happen. It's exciting that small towns are more accepting more. As time goes on.
Concern as president's goal of reaching 70% adult vaccinations by July 4th seems a bit far off.
65% of adults are at least partially vaccinated, but 30 states lag behind, with Mississippi, Louisiana, Wyoming, and Alabama at the bottom. In 3 of those states, new COVID cases are increasing. Dr. Suzanne Judd is with the University of Alabama at Birmingham.
They could be facing another COVID outbreak in the fall.
How big of a risk does this Delta variant pose?
It's a big risk. It spreads more rapidly.
CBS's Lilia Luciano. Yesterday marked the first time Juneteenth was celebrated as a federal holiday. Million Bush organized an event in Midway, Kentucky.
We are not just thinking about the event, we're also thinking about the joy that brings, just being able to recognize Black people, not just as a unit of people, but as individuals.
In San Francisco, 15 people were injured after an apartment fire tore through a building. David Carpenter lives inside.
We have a lot of paraplegic people in the building. We have people that are bedridden, a lot of elderly people. I just went into rescue mode, started banging on doors.
About 60 residents have been displaced. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
Ready to create your own income with your own home-based business where there's no such thing as getting laid off? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Goherenext.com. Have you ever thought about saying goodbye to your job, just walking into your boss and saying, I quit? And how would you like to commute to work without ever leaving your home? If a billionaire entrepreneur spent 5 years and $20 million searching for the next big trend, wouldn't you want to know what he found? If you're serious about making money from home without having to leave home, then write this down. www.goherenext.com. You decide your income. Get the facts now. Goherenext.com.
WWL First News. I'm Tom Perumian on your official weather station, WWL.fm.com.
About
Mostly
4
cloudy
minutes.
conditions are in the forecast today, and rain chances remain pretty moderate across central Louisiana. Now, it is Father's Day. It's not going to rain all day. This afternoon is actually looking a bit drier.
About
but
4
it will
minutes.
Be cloudy. And we are looking at those temperatures once again climbing into the upper 80s. It will be humid with breezy conditions out of the southwest between 5 to 15 miles per hour.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan, will be along with your full weather forecast. A man is shot in the French Quarter overnight. For the story, we go to WWL TV's Paul Dudley.
The NOPD is investigating after a man was shot in the French Quarter overnight. It happened in the 800 block of Burgundy near St. Anne Street. The victim was taken to the hospital by EMS, but we have not received an update on their condition just yet.
It looks like moving City Hall to Treme isn't the best idea in the book, as we get this look from WWL TV's Sharice Gibson.
The voices of those in Treme have been loud when it comes to moving City Hall to the Municipal Auditorium. Mayor Cantrell announced they're backing away from those plans now. Now, this comes after hundreds of people marched to Duncan Plaza to protest the plans. Even other city leaders have spoken out against it. Cantrell has backed off those plans, but says that the Municipal Auditorium still needs to be fixed, which a lot of people can agree on. Now, to get federal funding for the repairs, the city has to hire project managers and engineers for the rehabilitation this year. She added that those in the community deserve to have their voices heard.
In WWL sports,
After the news of the Pelicans splitting ties with Stan Van Gundy earlier this week, the Pelicans' search for a new head coach is underway. The newest would be the fourth head coach in Pelicans franchise history, and Pelicans reporter Jen Hale says that list for our new head coach, it's a short one.
Hey, sweetie, you can watch us on your Facebook.
They know what they want. They know what they're looking for. They feel like they know where they made a mistake last time. So few coaching candidates from the last search that they're going to look at again, as well as a few new ones. But this is not some sort of nationwide, hey, we got to turn over every leaf and stone. They have a pretty good idea of who they want to go with.
The Pelicans are also 10 days away from finding out where they'll be drafting in this year's draft, with the NBA lottery scheduled for June 29th. Tim Zimmer, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Mostly cloudy skies and scattered showers are in the forecast today. If you have any Father's Day plans, it's not going to rain all day. I do expect the rain for most of us to wrap up later on this afternoon, but it will get heavy in a few spots and isolated thunderstorms are possible. Hot and humid. Temperatures climbing into the upper 80s today with winds out of the southwest between 5 to 15 miles per hour. Now tonight, a slight chance for a few showers and scattered thunderstorms, but we are looking at mostly cloudy conditions with those overnight temperatures falling into the mid-70s. Monday, once again, the pattern will remain pretty unsettled, meaning scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible during the morning hours, heavy downpours for some, mostly cloudy conditions, and temperatures will be below average, climbing into the mid-80s. Monday night, again, we can see a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms with quick heavy downpours, mostly cloudy conditions, and overnight temperatures falling into the mid-70s. From your weather expert forecast center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News.
From WWL, the news talk sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico. Underwritten by Nico and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakwinard Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nico and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, good morning, Doug Sunseri, Albert Nico. I just heard that. What is this? My wife's sitting next to me, Michelle. Oh my goodness, I'm in trouble.
No, you're not.
I'm not in trouble.
No, you're okay.
I heard Albert Nico in my thing, and I said,
I know you were.
I was on my. You're right. I was doing my little social. I'm engineer, social media.
You're everything.
Board operator, and host. At the same time.
You are.
It's a function of. It's a benefit of being ADD. You can do all four.
You do all four well too.
Well, not when I called you Albert.
Well,
that's for
okay.
sure. So, Mia, listen to us on your Facebook now. We're at home.
Those poor kids.
Yeah,
the only thing they get anything posted on their Facebook because they don't do Facebook.
They don't do
Facebook.
Facebook.
On their timeline.
We put it on their timeline. It's for social media. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, all things legal. On this Father's Day, Sunday. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers in our family. Paulie, my dad Frank, your dad Paul. He's in heaven.
He's in heaven.
Also, brother Dean. Joe. Dean. And so happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Paulie's a great father.
He is a good father.
He is a very good father. And then and my grandfather
in heaven,
Larry Duplass. So
I never had the pleasure.
He's an interesting man.
I've heard.
He left a great work ethic in our family. He's a hard worker. I mean, he went. He's an American dream. Went from just depression to building a nice business and being successful, giving his children and grandchildren opportunities that he didn't have, and so he was part of American Dream. My dad, he grew up without a dad. He grew up right behind Jesuit. I think his backyard faced Jesuit, and he was just a poor Italian boy without a daddy. And And so he didn't go to Jesuit, though. De La Salle gave him a scholarship, and Johnny Altabello gave him a scholarship at De La Salle, went on to be a four-sport Hall of Famer at De La Salle. And
that is a success story.
That's just another American success story. He's been a very, very good dad. So thank you, Dad, Frank. And so another Italian, Johnny Altabello, who gave him a scholarship, and that's why we had that little Jesuit De La Salle rivalry going on.
Oh, that's where it came
That's
from.
far up, because he'd look out in his back door and he'd see Jesuit or his backyard, and then he went to De La Salle.
We had it in our family because we had one brother that went to De La Salle.
The smart one went to De La Salle, Kenny.
Yeah, and then the other ones went to Jesuit.
The other ones who didn't get into De La Salle went to Jesuit.
And
right?
happy Father's Day, Kenny.
Yes, especially.
He's the only brother living.
He's the only one of your uncles living.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a couple of other brothers. Larry Duplass, the son, he's got a couple of boys in California, and Jimmy and Duplass, and he's got a daughter and a son, and Danny Duplass, he's got a daughter and a son. So we wish them all the men in the family
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day on this steamy summer's here.
I haven't been outside.
It
looks sunny though.
It's summer's here when you see the hurricane maps every day.
Yeah, I know.
They getting those hurricanes, pulling for those hurricanes. When you see one in the Gulf or somewhere, you're in the throes of summer. Also, when you see that, there's no sports going on, which is they got the NBA.
Yeah, the NBA. You watched a little bit of
that was a great
last
game
night.
last night, Milwaukee and Brooklyn.
I wasn't watching it. I was just listening to you.
So actually, Milwaukee is in the finals. They have to play Atlanta, and the winner of Atlanta, and I am going blank right now. The 76ers. Now, in the Suns.
Who won last night? Was it the team that Drew was on?
Yeah, Drew won. Drew won. He not having a great playoffs, but he's okay. He's not, he's not. But Milwaukee plays. They're a good team. In fact, now here's the interesting part. They're going to the Hawks. Well, the Suns are in the finals in the West. The Suns will rank behind the Pelicans starting the year as far as preseason predictions. They're in the conference finals. Just to show you that the NBA is sort of changing. Before you had these super teams.
Right.
That's not happening this year. And which means the Pelicans have a very short window to get it together for Zion. Because if they put the right pieces around them, they could be a Suns or they could be a Hawks. They have opportunities. It's just a matter of
what do they just don't have the right other players around him, or is it
they don't have an identity. When you look at certain teams, they have an identity. If you look at the Utah Jazz, they have an identity.
How do you get an identity?
You have a philosophy and you stick with it. Whether it's going to be now. I think what the Pelicans should do is they should have 4 players on the perimeter who can sharpshoot, and let Zion open up the middle for Zion and let them work. So if they collapse on Zion, you kick it out to the sharpshooters along the 3-point line. And see, they don't know what they want to do. Like, for example, I like Steven Adams as a center, but he is not complementary to Zion because he just plays his own lane. So you have 2 people playing in the lane at the same time. That's what I'm saying.
They're not a team. They're just individual players.
Well, they don't have complementary skills, so they're just signing people to sign them rather than having a vision for their team and fitting pieces into that. For example, the New England Patriots have been great for the last 20 years because they have a philosophy, and they find players that fit that philosophy or those complementary skills and piece them in.
Right.
And they just don't. They'll one year they're a half court team or they're a baseline team. What are they? And so they made obviously hindsight. Stan Van Gundy was a mistake because he's getting fired or he got fired. So I don't know. They just they have David Griffiths, the general manager. Now I don't know if he's a great general manager because LeBron was with them at the time.
Right.
Because LeBron, when he's not like he is, and actually he's a team player and he's not all elsewhere, he could make a general manager look good because, you ask Yogi Bear, what makes a great team? Good players.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They just don't have identity. They've never had an identity, and they got to figure out who they are, and then get players like that.
Right. Otherwise, the players are going to leave.
Right,
Zion's a great kid.
He's going to go. He's got people whispering in his ear right now. Now, again, what are you going to do with Steven Adams? You don't need Steven Adams in the lane with Zion at the same time. It just causes a traffic jam. But there you go there. I personally think I'd like them to hire Chauncey Billups.
Who's that?
He played for the Detroit Pistons, won a world championship. Very, very good. He's young, ex-player. Because the players now are just, they're so complicated, You have to you gotta talk to them in their love language. You got okay, Zion, what's your love language? Okay, now let me talk to you like your love language, so you won't get not Zion, but other players. Zion's a good kid, and so you got to be
They're
like
just highly offended.
You got to be like a domestic mediator or something, and be able to coach baseball because you're like if you say something the wrong way, they get all upset and they Twitter about you and all that sort of thing. And so Chauncey's young enough where he can relate to him, but he's still got an edge to him.
Right.
Because a lot of times if you got an edge to him, they get all upset, Could you see him in the Army, you say something, to a command, and you say, well, you didn't say it the right way. I don't like your tone. That kind of thing, man. It drives me nuts. But anyway.
Tell us how you really feel.
So anyway, that's the Pelicans. Okay, here's the next thing. We got 77 days before LSU.
I knew we were counting down still.
UCLA. And we're still having a discussion. I want to go to the Rose Bowl. It's my discussion. But you don't want to go there because of going to the socialist state of California. So we have a little thing going here. But, so we're going to work that out. We might need a mediator or something. Any of you domestic mediators who are listening, you want to do some pro bono work, let's work out this thing with the LSU-UCLA game at the Rose Bowl. But here's the deal. Ask me who's going to be the quarterback between Miles Brennan and Max Johnson.
Who's going to be the quarterback?
Between
Miles
Brennan and Max Johnson. Yes. Now, I will explain my answer.
Okay.
I think they're going to both play.
Really?
They have different skills. And I think they want to give Miles a chance to win the job, but Max is the better quarterback or long-term quarterback. But they have different styles.
How old is Max? What year is he?
He's going to be a sophomore.
Oh, okay.
And he's got some NFL pedigree. Now, Max is a three-dimensional quarterback. Miles is a drop back. He's not a runner.
How accurate is he?
Good. He's got a great arm.
Okay.
But I think they're going to try both because it's hard to prepare for both. It's like preparing for Drew Brees and Taysom. You sort of had that thing going because they're two different quarterbacks. Now, LSU used to be. Now, you know how I love history.
Mm-hmm.
LSU history. Charlie McClendon used to do the two quarterback system. Now, he was criticized because when Burt Jones was quarterback and they had Paul Lyons as the running quarterback and Burt Jones as the throwing quarterback. The only problem was Burt Jones was the first coming of John Elway, and if he played all the time, he would have won a Heisman Trophy at LSU, probably. But he used to play in both because he wanted to always have one quarterback ready to come in if one got hurt. And the other, they had different complementary skills.
Does it keep the other team on their toes?
A little bit for game planning, because you'd game plan one way for Miles Brennan and another way for Max Johnson, because Max Johnson's more like he can run and pass, and he's probably a little more like the Clemson quarterback Trevor, whereas Miles is just pretty much just drop back and throw. I personally think you need a three-dimensional quarterback like Joe Burrow. One of the things that made him great was the ability to run.
Right.
And so I think you'll need. I think you need a three-dimensional player for that. But so that's so that's where we are. But we've not a lot of sports going on. So we're going to talk law probably sooner than we would otherwise. But we want to talk a little bit. We had a lot of calls last week about Medicaid planning with the elderly and whether you should plan, not plan, and some of the things you can do. And also, we talk a little bit about special needs trust for people because that's an interesting thing
It
going
is
on.
an interesting, and more and more people are needing it. So,
And I have a case to you. I have a family law case I have to ask your opinion about, which I never tell you what I'm going to talk about before because I want your spontaneous reaction to these things.
okay,
So I tell you what, we're going to talk about the funny thing first.
okay.
And then we'll talk about the serious things next. Okay, let's go to break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
It's been years in the making, and now the British Royal Navy is testing the first working jetpack for short-range human flight. But until Apple gets their hands on the patent, introducing the iPack. You're stuck driving to work. Good thing real-time traffic reports are more than science fiction. Traffic matters to me to get to work. The information you need. Jetpack not required. From the News Talk Sports Leader, WWL.
Hi, this is former Sheriff
I wonder,
Bill Norman. Getting your vehicle back on the road after an accident can be a pain, but the Ray Brandt Collision Centers make it easy with 6 convenient locations and a lifetime repair warranty. Most new vehicles are equipped with technology like radar, sonar, and more, so use a manufacturer-certified collision center. Tell the insurance company what I would. I'm going to Ray Brandt Collision for my repair. Ray Brandt Collision Centers with 6 convenient locations and a lifetime repair warranty.
New Orleans is ready to get back to work, and DKI Office Solutions is ready to help you create comfortable, functional, and safe office spaces. With our large inventory and our design team, we can work with you to configure the best possible way to set up your office. Visit us at dkiofficesolutions.com to find out how we can help you get back to work.
It's Boat Stuff's in-house boat show, today through June 30th, at any of Boat Stuff's 4 convenient locations. Build your new 2022 Dream Boat, powered by Yamaha Outboards. Get a great deal on all 2022 coastal fishing boats, fiberglass and aluminum boats, including new 2022 Avid boats, Sea Fox, Blue Wave, Ranger, and Sea Pro, all powered by Yamaha Outboards. Get special financing and free Coast Guard safety packages with all boat purchases. It's Boat Stuff's in-house boat show in Hammond, Slidell, Harvey, and Port Sulphur for sales, service, and parts.
This is Attorney Doug Sunseri, host of All Things Legal on Sunday mornings.
This is Attorney Michelle Demarest Sunseri. As a result of COVID-19, many are experiencing unique family law difficulties resulting in divorce and custody issues.
Also, we learn the importance of statement, wills, and
Understandable.
Call me in my notary office at 504-837-1304.
Or call me, the boss lady, on the North Shore at my new office in Mandeville at 985-624-9697.
Boss lady, really?
Odyssey is currently accepting applications for all of our local radio stations, including WWL. We also invite college students to apply for internships at our stations. If you're interested in a career in radio or an internship, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers or call 504-526-3000. Odyssey is dedicated to providing a broad outreach regarding job vacancies at our stations. Organizations that wish to receive our job postings are invited to contact us at 504-526-3000. Odyssey is an equal opportunity employer.
NOLA Protection Group provides peace of mind for event planners and managers through effective professional security guards from access control to traffic and COVID compliance. For your special event, there's no better security guard service. NOLA Protection Group at nolaprotection.com.
Water damage or mold in your home? Who are you going to call? All Dry Water Damage Experts, 504-952-3030. Home flooded, roof leak, pipe break, toilet overflow? Trust All Dry to clean and dry your home properly. 504-952-3030. Insurance accepted.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and worn out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, The timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up. Call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252.
All things legal on WWL AMFM.com and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, all things legal. You probably regretfully asked me about the College World Series.
I did.
Okay, Vanderbilt won last night in 12, 7-6. And I'm going to talk about Vanderbilt real quick. And NC State beat Stanford 10-4. The reason LSU has not selected a baseball coach is because they want one of the coaches maybe in the College World Series. Tony Vitello or Tim Corbin with Vanderbilt. Because you can only accomplish so much at Vanderbilt.
Right.
I mean, LSU is the New York Yankees of college baseball. So, and Vanderbilt's like the Minnesota Twins.
Gotcha.
So, that's why. But if not, I think the other candidate's Mike Bianco.
Yeah, I thought the guy from
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss.
And Todd Walker said he'd like to be the batting coach. So, I think it's between those three. If they could land one of the two College World Series and bring a wheelbarrow of money, they will. If not, I think Bianco will be the coach. So, and speaking of baseball.
Here we go.
Yogi Bear. You see, I bought myself
I feel like I've spent the weekend with Yogi Bear.
Yeah, I bought myself a Father's Day present about Yogi Bear. And I just love the guy.
I know.
I mean, he's the greatest philosopher in American history. In the history of America, he's got the best. If you listen to him, you'll make good decisions in your life.
Yogi Bear?
Yeah. But here's some of the famous things that he had said. Now, Yogi Bear, for you millennials, it's not the cartoon.
I don't even know if they would know the cartoon.
Yeah, that's true. They probably is Yogi Bear canceled with
I'm
Dr.
sure he's
Seuss?
canceled. He's got to be
canceled
canceled somewhere.
It's Yogi Bear. He was a catcher for the Yankees.
Right.
Back Mickey Mantle and Don Larson. And I'm not that old, but I'm a historian.
Right.
He retired 2 years after I was born. He was a player manager for the Mets. But he always said some wonderful things.
You have a lot of those pages.
No, I'm just going to do one or two.
Oh, okay.
He said, "Always go to other people's funeral, otherwise they won't go to yours." That's very wise. And here's one for the men on Father's Day. It says, "I always take a 2-hour nap between 1 and 4 p.m. Because us fathers, we like to take naps. So there we go. Let's talk. Oh, I had something funny too. I wanted to ask you about this.
Okay.
It's since you're like and I have to ask you how you would deal with this.
Okay.
And this is since you're like the divorce community property guru. We can say that now. Like we get in trouble for saying like if you were an expert.
Right.
So we didn't say that. We were just saying just because of the bar association. Like if you just can't do that, or they get mad at you. But so I'll call you guru. But this is a case where it's about community property settlement. It said when a wife of 11 years found out she needed a kidney transplant, Dr. Richard Petition. I won't use the names. The husband gave one of his kidneys. 8 years later, after the successful operation, wife filed for divorce. Husband was hacked. So therefore, as part of his settlement, he wanted the value of the donated kidney, which was valued at about $1.5 million as part of the settlement of his community property. And so she said, "I want that cat."
I can hear her. I
don't want to say what I want to do to that cat because I'll have those PETA people mad at me.
You'll be canceled.
I'll be canceled by the people of American ethical treatment of animals. So, okay, Catty, please stop. All right, is it 9? All right, and so basically, he wanted to get his money back as part of community property settlement.
Okay. I would consider it was a donation.
It was a donation.
Yeah,
That's
love and affection.
Love and affection. And so,
I don't think you can. I don't think you can revoke the donation. Which
Right.
when he want his kidney back?
I don't know. Now, there's a similar issue that I've been asked about before.
Okay.
You know,
I know what you're talking about.
Like, and I don't want to make it. It's like it could happen to men in some ways too with hair, I guess. Okay. You know,
Just augmentation of anything.
Augmentation, because it's Sunday morning. People going to church.
Okay.
If a spouse
Mm-hmm.
got augmentation
Mm-hmm.
and the husband wanted him back, I mean that's not a deal.
I've had somebody try that before.
I've had that too.
Yeah, it didn't work.
I said, I know if you want, you could have one. You can have one. I don't know, but I just said let's go to the next issue.
Here's the definition. I think it benefits the community.
There you go. In fact, it benefits the.
To me, I likened it to the same thing about education.
Right.
Did the community have enough benefit?
I would say it benefit the husband even more than the wife.
Well, the husband is part of the community.
All right. So there you go. You know, I have some theories about that. All right. No, just you're right. You're right. So I just thought that was fun.
I didn't need to be right. I just
you're correct. But I thought that was an interesting thing.
Mm-hmm.
That the husband wanted to value the kid. At least he didn't want the kidney back.
He was really mad. Huh?
Yeah, he was really mad.
Who wants all that in your to be published?
Yeah, that's a nice little credit. $1.5 million credit. You know, you got $1.5 million on one side of the ledger.
Yeah.
So there you go.
What did the court do with that?
He lost the case.
Gee, that's so surprising.
Give me back the kidney. So anyway, but I saw that, and they said that's so outrageous, but it's really not. I've been asked 2 or 3 times.
Mm-hmm. I've never been asked about a kidney.
Yeah, I've been asked about something above the belt. You know, a couple of things above the belt.
I think the kidney actually is above the belt.
Yeah, but on the front side. Anyway, I'm trying to keep it clean for church. Going to people.
On the front side.
Well, like I said, well, anyway, I won't go into my attorney-client discussions regarding it. I just sort of said, let's go to the next thing.
Yeah.
Dude, come on. All right, we're going to go break. We'll talk about special needs trust and how they work and when would you need them. Right after the break, Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
For a brutal season, been a long time.
Okay, we have Arthur from New Orleans who has her insurance policy things the way they should be.
3 minutes.
Cautious optimism has returned.
Let's open America back up in business. We can't get this done.
Rick Edelman, award-winning radio host and founder of Edelman Financial Engines, takes questions on his radio show. Let's hear his advice on annuities.
Hey, Rick, I'm looking for a good investment. Should I consider a fixed annuity?
Well, fixed annuities aren't really investments. They're insurance products. You'll get a fixed rate of return from them, but it might not be enough to offset taxes and inflation. Most annuity contracts require you to keep the money there for 5 to 10 years. And if you're under age 59 and a half, any withdrawals are subject to a 10% IRS penalty. You should talk, therefore, to a fee-based financial advisor to see if an annuity is right for you, not someone who makes a living earning commissions selling annuities. You want a fiduciary who puts your best interests first.
If you're looking for a trusted partner who's got your back, talk to one of our experienced financial planners by calling 888-PLAN-RICK or visit rickedelman.com.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the summer of 2021 with a spectacular offer that everyone's loving right now. 5 years, 0 interest financing on anything and everything. Upgrade her diamond now and spread your payments over 5 years with 0 interest. Go ahead, splurge on that designer necklace or those diamond earrings.
I don't need it now.
With this amazing offer, pick any item, divide the price by 60, and that's your monthly payment. And no down payment is required. You can even finance the sales tax. People are driving for hours to take advantage of this. You get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is famous for, and you spread your payments over 5 whole years. Imagine a $12,000 designer engagement ring or diamond tennis bracelet, just $200 a month. It's the smartest and easiest way to buy. And doesn't she deserve it? After all that's happened in the last year, Don't miss this incredible opportunity. 5 years, zero interest financing now for a limited time. Only at Diamonds Direct. Unapproved bank. On Severn Avenue, across from Lakeside Mall.
Hi, folks. Joel Myers for my friends at Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans. Outstanding customer service. It's what Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans is all about. Working hard to exceed their customers' expectations every day. Outstanding customer service means having a fleet of over 100 loaner cars to keep you on the go. It also means picking up your vehicle and delivering it back to you. Mercedes-Benz of New Orleans on Veterans Boulevard in Metairie. A proud member of the Gail Benson Automotive family of dealerships.
Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana is the nearcation you deserve. With its great accommodations, outdoor experiences, culinary offerings, gaming, and fun things to do, it is the perfect getaway. Plus, it's affordable and an easy drive. So come, have fun, and press play on a new day. To learn more about Shreveport, Louisiana, visit shreveport-bossier.org or visit louisianatravel.com.
This is Bobby Beaver from my friends at Clearwater Pools and Spas, your staycation headquarters. Let us make your backyard a great family vacation spot for the summer. They're the trusted leader in water treatment and offer the largest selection in above-ground pools, spas, and hot tubs, including hot spring spas. They're the only factory authorized and trained in pristine blue and oxygen sanitizing systems. Visit cwnola.com or one of our locations in Covington, Metairie, Baton Rouge, and Pearl, Mississippi. Clearwater Pools and Spas.
Half off initial lab panel, now $99. RejuveMeMedical.com.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern, conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is changing the way you buy home insurance. Now you can go online, get a custom quote, and save both time and money. Learn more at Progressive.com.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nico and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given in opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nico and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, all things legal. You know what else Yogi Bear said? The future ain't what it used to be. You know, he really didn't say everything he said.
I know, he said that on the front.
All right. You know, let's, you know, when we were talking about Medicaid, planning long-term care, and that sort of thing, got a lot of feedback during the week, people calling, because it's something that I think most attorneys probably aren't up on, because it's just a sort of a anomaly, or
right. Well, it's not an
not
anomaly,
anomaly, but it's sort of a narrow issue, but it affects a lot of people.
It does,
especially now since the baby boomers are coming to age, and you know, they had another sort of anomaly. Is the not anomaly, but something that's occurring today a lot is, you know, adult children who have special needs and are on government benefits. And when people want to, you know, maybe baby boomers, or they get in their 70s, 80s, 60s, 70s, 80s, or even 50s, they have children who have stayed with them in the house. They have special needs, maybe autism. They might have some neurological issues. They may have some physical issues, and they're on government services. And their biggest fear is, when I leave this earth and go to heaven, who's going to take care of my kid?
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it's very interesting, and this is very informal and anecdotal, but it seems like parents who have children with adult special needs seem to live longer, because they know I got to stay here as long as I can, take care of my kid, because once I'm gone, I'm very concerned about what kind of care they're going to get. And often they're very reluctant to have, their other children be responsible for them, or third party. So, but they also want to provide provision for them. And under, if they're receiving government services, if they receive an inheritance, generally, they'll lose their government services until they spent the inheritance.
Right.
For example, we had a case where a girl needed 24/7 care. She had government services, P-tax, 24/7, and she inherited maybe $15,000, and they didn't know, and they lost all their government services.
Well, not only do you lose it, but you have to get back in line,
which might be years.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to show the government they spent that $15,000.
Right.
But there's a way in estate planning, in your wills or trust, is to do a special needs trust, which will allow a person with the special needs to receive the benefit of inheritance, but in this trust, and also maintain his government services. And I don't know.
And it's easy to do. It's extremely easy.
Yeah, it's common. It's just so many people don't know about it.
Right.
And I don't know what it was. When I was in school, it didn't seem like they had that many. It seems like there's almost like an epidemic of autistic kids.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. There's a lot of different
theories.
There's a lot of different theories, and if I say one of them, they'll probably not invite me to be on the air next week. But for whatever reason, what a parent in that situation was, they want to be able to maybe supplement the government services with their own inheritance in order to improve the quality of life.
Right.
And so, basically you can do it, you can open up a special needs in a will upon death of the parents, that the money allocated for the children or that child would go to them in a special needs trust.
Right.
Or you have a life insurance policy.
Yeah, you can make the special needs trust or the supplemental needs trust the beneficiary.
Yeah, and also you have a lot of the biggest asset many people own is the IRA.
Right.
And so you can also have a supplemental needs trust in the context of an IRA.
Right.
Or IRA special needs trust. So, but I guess the theory is, people say, well, why? Well, when you receive government services based on disability, and I'm taking about an hour and trying to condense it in 2 minutes, is the government says, if you have a replacement of income for your for these disability benefits, and these disability benefits are to provide for health, meals, and shelter, basically. Clothing, meals, and shelter. And basically supplemental. So if you have a available revenue stream or donation or inheritance to replace that, then the law says you don't get it.
Sure, because you have the ability to pay for your own.
Right. Now, what a supplemental needs trust is very clever. Back in the 80s, lawyers said, well, how about if we do a trust that doesn't allocate money to the primary needs of that individual with special needs? Let's allocate it to the other needs, or that aren't primary.
Right.
Transportation, entertainment,
equipment, computers, TVs.
Anything to improve their quality
of life.
That's not their primary.
Right.
They said, well, if we do a trust for that and not provide for the primary needs, well, therefore your primary needs is not being, the income is not replacing the primary needs, so therefore you cannot take them off government services. Right. And that actually went to a case in the 1980s Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, government, you make the rules, you live by them. And so therefore they sort of blessed it in 1991. Under the first Bush administration, Congress, they passed sanctioning special needs trust. So you could be, fabulously wealthy and still have a method or way to have your children benefit by your inheritance without losing their government services. Right. Do you find a lot of people are surprised when, or don't know about it, who have those special needs children?
I do. And you know what's even more surprising is that, and I guess it's just because we've done this for so long and I grew up around the law, but so many people think that couples do wills together.
Like
it's a joint will.
Like a joint will.
And so I was sitting with somebody the other day and we were talking about a special needs trust, and they are estranged from their spouse. And I was talking about, both of you all need to do it. She goes, well, we'll just do one. And I was like, no, a will is a special, a will is a private document that's just individual to you.
Right.
And so if a couple has a special needs trust, even if they're divorced or whatever, both parents have to do the trust, or else, if the child inherits from one parent and not the other, it still knocks them off.
Yeah. Another thing we find is, let's say, two parents work real hard. They have maybe 3 or 4 children, or maybe more than that.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to get a little extra to the child with special needs, or but they may maybe save some money, but if you split it up among 4 or 5, it's probably not enough to sustain that child with the special needs very long.
Right.
And now I don't want to sound like a Saturday morning show, the financial show, and I don't want to get into it, but basically what you can do sometimes is, if you're in your 50s or 60s, you could get a second to die term policy where the insured would be, the benefit would not be paid until the death of the second spouse. And so that helps reduce the premiums, and then you make this trust the beneficiary of the insurance policy to get that child a little extra money,
right,
so that they could sustain themselves.
Yeah, I had somebody the other day want to just leave the special needs child out rather than doing the trust, and it was like, oh, you can't do that because they are a forced heir.
Right, and that's number one. And I've had people say, well, let me give what I want to allocate extra to another child. And that's a problem too, because they're not obligated to do that. I mean, there's really no obligation. I mean, they could.
Mm-hmm.
And this is an interesting thing we always say. They say, when they want to do things like that, say, well, I don't need the will. My son knows what to do, or I'll give so-and-so their portion and they'll give it to him later. I said, well, that's not a good idea. They said, no, my child, they know my intentions. And I say, yeah, but they have spouses too.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times in these estate issues, it's not the children. It's the children's spouses, the ones who sort of influence things that may not happen otherwise. And so, again, as far as the special needs trust, the whole purpose is allow your child to get the benefit of your inheritance without losing government benefits. And it's a very defined, niche. I think a lot of estate planners don't even, most of them, I'd say more I've come across don't know about special needs trust, or are uncomfortable with it because they just don't do it very often.
Yeah, I think they're uncomfortable about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they know the concept, but again, I don't know what it is about today. It just seems like, if you go to public, we're in public school. I mean, we're in St. Tammany Parish, and St. Tammany Parish public schools have these big departments for special needs kids, and it just didn't seem like they had that 30 and 40 years ago.
And I don't know if they're just diagnosing more, more kids being diagnosed with ADD, ADHD. I don't know.
But it just seems like, and again, one of the biggest fears of a elderly parent with a child who has special needs, maybe in their 30s, 40s, 50s, or even 60s, is, when I'm gone, what's going to happen to them?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a way to make provision for them. Now, one of the things I guess we'll talk about when we go on the other side of the break is trustees for a special needs trust. They call them trustees for a reason, because you better trust them.
That's right.
But let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Sometimes a single click on the internet can change your life forever.
Okay, we have a caller waiting. His name is Arthur.
Who do we have?
And he has a question about insurance.
Who's that? Jacob?
With a trail of death behind
Ken, please.
What's his name? Jacob?
Arthur.
Arthur. Yeah.
A-R-T-H-U-R.
Insurance. Okay, gotcha. Okay, gotcha.
Spongy and Llewellyn Pictures. Available now on Odyssey, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Global Star has had sharp copier printers from Allfax for over 5 years. Global Star Senior Director of Corporate Facilities and Wellness, Vicki Gaybauer. Why Allfax?
Because they are loyal to me.
Customers first, Vicki. That's Allfax.
I really rely on my vendors. I call them partners, and Allfax has been an amazing partner.
So much so, I understand Allfax gave you a helping hand with a copier lease all the way across the country.
We were in a horrible lease in our California office.
You called Allfax sales rep, is that right?
Yes, and it was phenomenal. It was truly a rescue. And I knew from that moment on, and before even, that Allfax was the company that we needed to use.
Vicki, safe to say you would recommend Allfax to other business people?
I would say, yeah, absolutely. I can make a recommendation, Allfax. Allfax all day, all the time.
Sharp copier printers from Allfax. Call 800-873-7338. Call today. 800-873-7338. Allfax. Commitment, reliability, answers.
Doing your best work from home is not easy when you don't have the right space. California Closets will help you create a custom solution that works for you, your family, and your life. Whether it's a small space, shared space, multifunctional space, or kids space, our professional design consultants will help you get organized and make your space one that works better for you. Now you can love where you live and work. Schedule your free in-home or virtual design consultation today at CaliforniaClosets.com.
Your life, your hopes, your passions. These things are none of our business. Your deodorant rash, your favorite cheese, and whatever you were searching for at 1:15 a.m. That's really none of our business. Because your life is private. And unlike other tech companies, we think your internet should be too. Oh, what kind of talk is that? That's none of our business either. Protect your privacy online for free with DuckDuckGo. DuckDuckGo. Privacy simplified.
Hey guys, this is Gabby Douglas. If you have an active lifestyle like me, hydration is key. That's why I love the Hydration Watermelon Smoothie from Smoothie King. Blended with whole fruits, coconut water, and more electrolytes than some of the leading sports drinks. Hydration Watermelon is the cleaner way to hydrate, with no artificial colors, flavors.
We're going to have 5 minutes till the top of the hour.
Okay, I got all. Okay.
Pickup or delivery. Smoothie King. Rule the day.
The official smoothie of the New Orleans Pelicans.
If you were lied to when buying a timeshare and worn out, you need my help. Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told in a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, the timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252.
All things legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico on WWL and Odyssey Station. Connect now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, All Things Legal. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Arthur. Hey, Arthur, you on All Things Legal.
Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good.
Long time talking to y'all.
All right, man. What you got for us?
7 weeks ago, woke up to a sewer major flood in the house. When I say major, I mean major. I'm talking about the tubs, the pool, every room, every carpet, everything, the sofa, everything, from one end of the house to the other. All right, called the insurance company. Actually, before I called the insurance, I called Morrell. They came out and did what they did. Called the insurance company. They sent their own inspector out to do the plumbing, double check the plumbing. They sent the adjuster out, and they claim they're still waiting on the adjuster to send them the information. And it's gone on 7 weeks. I'm not able to live in the home because, as far as I'm concerned, it's contaminated, and there's a lot of stuff that has to be taken out. And I'm trying to find out, I don't know if they're dragging their feet. What is my best recourse to find out what's going on with this show? I have yet to get anything from them.
Okay, well, there's a couple of laws that there protect you. First of all, when you have a homeowner's claim, it's called a first party claim because you're suing your own insurance company. There's a couple of laws saying that once they have all the information, they have 30 days and 60-day period to pay what's not in dispute, or they could be liable for penalties and attorney's fees. That's the short version. Now, so once the cause is determined, now I would get your own plumber to find out the cause, because what they're trying to do is determine whether the cause of the backup is something that's covered by the insurance or not. So I would get your own independent plumber to find out what the cause is, number one. And then two, I mean, you're going to have to fix it anyway, so you get him to address it. The second thing that you're going to want to do and see if that cause is covered by that policy or not excluded. The second part is you want to document all your expenses. If you have to live outside the house, you probably have a loss of use of claim provision on your policy where, if you're incurring extra expenses because you can't live in the house, they would be reimbursable for that. So I would document all those expenses. So if you're paying extra groceries, you're paying extra utilities, you're paying extra rent, any additional expense that you're paying because you can't live in the house, that would be covered. So keep track of all those expenses also. So what the biggest thing is, you want to find out what caused the backup, okay? And if and then get a copy of your insurance policy and see if it's covered by the cause of the backup or the sewage backup, or two, if there's any exclusions that are applicable to it. So another thing I would do is get a copy of your insurance policy. Now, often you'll get a notice in your mail saying these are the coverages. That's called the declaration sheet, and it just tells you what coverages you have and how much. But I would call your insurance agent and say, I need an actual copy of the original policy if you don't have one. All right, so there's a few things you got to get. A copy of your insurance policy. Two, get a plumber out there to find out what's the cause of the backup. Look at your insurance policy and determine whether the cause of the backup is covered by the insurance policy. Now, you may need help of an attorney. You call an attorney, call us, call whoever you need to call, and they could probably give you an opinion on that. Third, document all your expenses so that if it is covered, you have a loss of use as well as you will have, property damage caused by the backup. All right?
Now, what I did the other day, the lady did call, and she said that they determined that it wasn't on the city side, like a broken pipe, and that now she just has to send it up to further up the line, I guess she said.
Yeah.
And they were still waiting on their adjuster for the total amount.
Right. But don't rely on their adjuster. Get your own independent plumber to find out the cause. Okay? Because because if it's up in the air, they're going to go down. They're going to go in favor of the insurance company. Get your own independent plumber to do that. All right. I tell you what. Give us a call at 504-837-1304, 504-837-1304 this week, and just leave a message or ask for us. We'll call you back and we'll give you more information on that. All right, my man? All right, Arthur, good luck to you. All right, hour number one's in the can. We'll be back for hour number two. Stay tuned for national news, local news. We'll be back in about 10 minutes and all things legal. See you in 10.
News, talk, and sports that hit home. 870 AM WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner, New Orleans, and Odyssey Station.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Lisa Mateo. Tropical Depression Claudette is traveling up the East Coast after leaving behind wind and flood damage in parts of Florida and Alabama.
It will be moving quickly to the northeast through places like Atlanta and Macon and Columbia. And as it moves in that direction, it'll produce another 2 to 4 inches of rain. There's likely to be some flash flooding, maybe some isolated tornadoes.
CBS News meteorologist and climate specialist Jeff Baradelli. It may be the first day of summer, but things have been heating up in the West for days. This man is part of a team repairing a roadway in Walnut Creek, California.
Asphalt is definitely hot, but we make sure everyone stays hydrated. We have cooling stations. Everyone's, if they're feeling a little overheated, they can go in the shade, take a break.
Also in California, a San Bernardino sheriff's deputy is on administrative leave after a video reveals a violent act. KCAL's TV's Candace Crone explains.
After leading deputies on a high-speed chase, the suspect complies, puts his hands in the air, gets on the ground, and that's when the deputy kicks the man in the head twice. Under Sheriff Shannon Dicus admits a use of force occurred.
The deputy involved in this incident was immediately taken off duty and placed on administrative leave. A criminal investigation is being conducted.
One person is dead and another injured after a driver slams into spectators at a pride parade in Florida. Local reports say it may have been an accident. This man says you never know.
Since Pulse, every pride celebration is a tenuous situation, and there are those that are out there that intentionally want to do the LGBTQ plus community harm, and we're aware of that, and that steps up our security.
Teachers are feeling the pandemic pinch.
Perhaps the last straw.
Karen Bingert is principal at Hillsborough High School in New Jersey. Since last July, 38 teachers in her district have retired or are planning to. 24 positions are open at the high school alone.
There are fewer candidates going into education to begin with. There's been a little bit of public pushback on the respect with which teachers are treated.
She says the incentives and more pay may be needed to keep teachers in the classroom.
CS's Steve Kathan reporting. The U.S. southern border opened yesterday for 3 minutes to allow families a chance to embrace. Fernando Garcia is with Border Network for Human Rights.
We don't want any more families to be separated. We want families to be unified.
The Department of Veteran Affairs plans to offer gender confirmation surgery to transgender veterans through its health care coverage. The move reverses a 2013 ban. The VA expects to begin the 2-year process this summer. The Washington Post is reporting that although the cost of the department is unknown, just under 4,000 veterans would be interested in the surgery. This is CBS News.
Get CBS News Radio on the Odyssey app. All the audio that matters to you is on Odyssey. News, music, sports, and podcasts. Download the Odyssey app today.
It's all about the nose. It's your air filter, the first line of defense against
Go
bacteria
about
and
4 minutes.
viruses. If too many germs get stuck in your nose,
Get that cat out of it. Is that cat?
That's why it's so important to keep
You
your
put him
nose
outside?
clean, just like washing your hands. Nasal irrigation gets rid of germs by rinsing the nasal cavity, but neti pots are hard to use and, frankly, kind of gross. Now there's a better way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself. It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to flush out allergens, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now it's time to start cleaning your nose with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
In time for Father's Day, a study for single dads on where to live.
A survey ranks 200 of the biggest U.S. cities based on 34 factors indicating single dad friendliness. Metrics looked at include
lowest hourly babysitting costs, highest quality public schools, most dad support groups, and the most family doctors per 100,000 residents.
Jeff Herman with Lawn Starter on the survey's worst cities for single dads.
Most of the cities tend to be in the south because they don't quite have as much health care as some of the cities up north and some of the cities on either of the coasts.
Stephen Kaufman, CBS News.
To what? Yeah.
WWL First News. I'm Tom.
Oh, good, good. That's
Station,
wonderful.
WWL, AM, FM, and .com.
Mostly cloudy conditions to start off our morning across southeast Louisiana, but rain chances are moderate today. Scattered showers, quick heavy downpours, and isolated thunderstorms are possible. It is Father's Day. It is not going to rain all day. Later on this afternoon, it is looking a bit drier. just with lots of clouds. Temperatures are going to climb into the upper 80s today. It will be humid with slightly breezy conditions out of the southwest between 5 to 15 miles per hour.
Your local weather expert, WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan. Gunfire in the French Quarter leaves one man wounded. NOPD was called to the intersection of Burgundy and St. Anne around 1:30 in the morning, where they found the man. He was transported to the hospital by EMS. There is no word on the victim's condition or motive for the crime. NOPD has an active investigation ongoing. A longtime New Orleans politician calls it a career. WWL TV's Devin Bartolotta reports.
After serving as the Orleans Parish Clerk of Criminal Court for the past 15 years, Arthur Morrell will not seek re-election. On Friday, Morrell announced he will not run in the October 9th primary. The former state lawmaker has held the position of clerk since 2006. Morrell said that he and his team have upgraded the office and all elections have run smoothly, which is one of the responsibilities of his office. Morrell's family is well known in politics. His wife is a former city council member, and his son, JP, is a former state lawmaker who is running for council this fall.
In WWL Sports, Three-quarters of the field of the NBA's conference finals are now set after last night's Game 7 overtime win by the Milwaukee Bucks. They needed an extra period, but finally advanced past the Brooklyn Nets 115-111, overcoming a 48-point performance by Kevin Durant. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 40 points of his own in the win. The Bucks now await the winner of tonight's Game 7 between the Sixers and the Hawks. Meanwhile, the Western Conference Finals begin today at 2:30 with Game 1 between the Suns and Clippers. And the College World Series got underway with victories by NC State over Stanford and Vanderbilt over Arizona. The Commodores needed 12 innings to come back at 7-6. Play continues today with Tennessee, Virginia at 1, followed by Texas and Mississippi State at 6. I'm Mark Menard, WWL Sports.
Now, your Garcia Roofing forecast on WWL.
Clouds will continue to build across southeast Louisiana this morning. In fact, we are looking at scattered showers with quick heavy downpours and isolated thunderstorms to last throughout most of the morning into the early afternoon hours. Now, if you have any Father's Day plans today, we are looking a bit drier as we head into the afternoon, but it will be hot and humid. I do expect daytime highs to climb into the upper 80s today, and it will be quite breezy. We're looking at those winds out of the southwest between 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tonight, a slight chance for a few pop-up showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy conditions, and overnight temperatures falling into the mid-70s. Monday, the weather pattern will remain pretty unsettled due to a cold front sliding through the area, so scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible throughout the day, packing a punch with quick heavy downpours. Temperatures won't be too hot, climbing into the mid-80s, but it will be humid. And then Monday night, a slight chance for a few storms moving through the area under mostly cloudy skies, and overnight temperatures falling into the mid-70s. From your Weather Expert Forecast Center, I'm WWL TV meteorologist Michelle Morgan.
And I'm Tom Perumian, WWL First News. For the latest on the COVID pandemic and vaccination efforts, visit wwl.com/coronavirus for 24/7 updates.
From WWL, the news, talk, sports powerhouse of the Gulf South, it's All Things Legal with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico. Underwritten by Nico and Sunseri Law Firm. Join us on the Oakland Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870, or connect anytime, anywhere on the Odyssey app. Now, to our Jefferson Financial Federal Credit Union studios in the heart of New Orleans, here are attorneys Albert Nico and Doug Sunseri.
Hey, we're back. Hour number 2. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri. All Things Legal. We're on till 10 o'clock. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. And, dads have a very distinct, we all have certain characteristics.
Okay.
Such as when we're taking a family on a family vacation and we're lost,
Okay.
right?
Uh-huh.
We think we know where we're going and we don't want to ask for directions. Or now we got, Google Maps, but we still think we know where we're going, right?
I think you would stop and ask for directions, wouldn't you?
Not always. But anyway.
I don't think I've ever traveled with you when we didn't have a GPS. So.
Yes, but that's just sort of a dad thing.
That is a dad thing.
dad humor.
Oh, yeah.
And that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And so, we all share certain characteristics.
Okay.
But for your dads,
you dads,
what I say, your dads?
Your
You
dad.
dads who are like on vacation and think they know where they're going and not, and their wife says, will you please get directions? Here's the appropriate response as per Yogi Bear.
Okay.
So you're asking, Doug, will you stop and find out where the
If I say,
restaurant
Doug,
is?
will you please stop?
And I would say, we're lost, but we're making good time. So just a little help for the fathers. It's interesting with fathers. I mean, I would say this, and I'll probably get in trouble by somebody who's going to get offended.
Somebody's going to get
but
offended.
I don't care. You could probably trace most social problems, especially crime, juvenile crime, school dropouts. Some of the things that plague New Orleans is the fact of the lack of participation of fathers in the home.
Mm-hmm. You're probably right.
They're always saying, you got to do this social program, you got to do this social program. It's when it comes down to it, it's not having fathers in the home.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to say that. Somehow that's politically incorrect to say that. You get lambasted for that.
Why, but anyway.
And the other thing too, which bothers me, is when you watch these sitcoms, which I have an opinion about them as being, I don't want to say the word idiotic because that would be too hard, but that's the way I really feel.
I don't want to
A lot of them.
I'm going to say.
Because they portray, they portray the dad as being a big doofus.
Yeah.
A big doofus who is a butt of a lot of jokes.
Right.
And, everybody wants to spend all his government money saying, we got to fix this, fix this. That's just the symptom.
Right.
The problem is, it's the dads.
Right. That's
what you got to encourage. You got mentoring and dads. That's right. That's right. So there you go there. And, also too, this is all of a different subject. The NBA, finals is coming up. And here's a little known fact. Because when I look at TV and I see the Utah Jazz, I still sort of get sick to my stomach because I think of Pistol Pete and the old Jazz when I was a kid a teenager going to games. But here's one little known fact. In fact, our little friend Joshua Maravich, Pete's kid, didn't even know this. So I got so much trivia. I've told him things about his dad he never knew.
Huh.
But here's one of the things. In 1972, when Pete was playing for the Atlanta Hawks traded in preseason or signed Julius Erving out of the ABA.
Really?
Absolutely. Played 2 exhibition games. And the short version is a suit was filed by the ABA, and he was sent back to the ABA with the Virginia Squires, and then he was traded to the New York Nets.
What was the suit about?
Whether they could sign Julius Erving because they had some issues between antitrust and those size issues, and went to the courts, and they said, nope, Julius, you got to go back to the Virginia Squires. Could you have imagined Pete Maravich and Julius Erving on the same team?
Wow.
Oh, my goodness. But anyway, Josh didn't know that. He had no idea. So I just thought about that when I see the Jazz playing tonight. I still think of Otto Moore, Gail Goodrich, the old Truck Robinson, and Mel Counts. If anybody knows who Mel Counts are, he's a great Jazz fan because he only played 1974. He played center behind Wilt Chamberlain for the Lakers.
He only played 1 year?
Well, yeah, played 1 year. I always said he was a big guy, but wasn't the best. He always led the league, I think, in grabbing the ball out of the basket after a made shot. Which is that was his function. But anyway, that's sort of getting into it. And also Albert's not here this week. I was thinking about when he's not here, I usually got to make a joke about his staying out at night or enjoying himself or his recreational habits, but I'm not going to do that this week.
Just come in the back door with it.
Coming back door. No, in fact, but with the COVID restrictions being lifted, he is starting to place his orders for alcohol for St. Patrick's Parade and
already.
Yes, already. So that's in 9 months because they have to, due to the quantity of orders, they have to do it way in advance.
Gotcha.
And they block off the street when they make the deliveries. It's a great party, and so he'll have it next year, and I'll invite everybody to come and tell them exactly where the bar is.
It'll be so nice to have everything back and hopefully open and back in place.
You know what? I'm so tired of people trying to keep people in fear. Oh, this variant's come back, we might do shutdowns and all that kind of stuff. Man, just deal with it when it comes. But in the meantime, quit. Too many people living in too much fear, man. You just got to, get out there and enjoy life. All right, we were talking about Special Needs Trust.
Right.
And we were talking about how that is a vehicle to pass down inheritance or payments, or someone else could finance, money for the benefit of a adult special needs child or any kind of special needs adult child, without losing government services. But one of the things you have to do is pick a trustee.
Right.
Do you know why they call them a trustee?
You have to trust them.
Yes. Well, sometimes apparently trustees are selected and they're not very trustworthy.
Yeah, I think you had a case about that.
Yeah, this week we had a case. And, because the trustee took the money, he's supposed to, our trust, when we do special needs trusts, provide accountings and that sort of thing. So everything's up above board.
Right.
But every once in a while, you get a trustee that's not very trustful.
Trustworthy.
Trustful? They taught us trustful at Del Sal. It's trustworthy. No, Mr. Stabler said trustworthy, believe me.
Trustful. I don't even know if trustful's a word.
No, it's not. I made it up.
Oh.
Yogi Bear. I got it from the Yogi Bear dictionary.
That's what we're going to start blaming everything on now. The malaprops and all.
The malaprops. If I didn't have Mr. Stabler as a teacher at Del Sal in 8th grade, my malaprops would be multiplied by 10.
Well, thank you, Mrs. Stabler.
In fact, if I ever passed his grave, I think he would come out of it and say, Mr. Sunseri, I heard you the other day. I want to have a talk with you. So anybody went to Del Sal had Mr. Stabler. He only had 2 outfits. Blue pants with a blue tie and a white shirt. Khaki pants with a white shirt and a blue tie. Or a blue pants, white shirt, and khaki tie. That's all you had. He was but he was great. He taught classical music too.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anybody who went to Del Sal would know that. But I'm off with Mr. Stabler, and I have to, and I always mention my favorite teacher all the time, Mr. Altobello, my history teacher. I always do. He's got a book coming out. I'm gonna look it up. I was supposed to plug it last week, but I'm gonna have him on for 4th of July, if he'll agree to plug his new book.
Oh, that's exciting. It's a history book?
Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it too. I'm gonna read it after the break. I said I was gonna do that last week, but I'm gonna do it this time. But we're back on Special Needs Trust. Back, my ADD brain is just jumping all over the place.
We're all over the place.
Special Needs Trust and trustees, and you have to get someone who is trustworthy to do that, because sometimes it's just a temptation. So when you select a trustee for a special needs trust or any type of trust, make sure they don't have a bad habit.
Right.
Such as with substances, drinking. If their favorite place to go to is a casino, not anything wrong with it. I'm just saying they might not be a good candidate for a trustee.
Right. Or have,
habits.
Well, just aren't good with managing money.
Or managing money. Shopping habits or spending money habits or what have you.
Well, you can have a spending money habit, but spend your own money.
Right, but if it's excessive, where they have a problem with that in their life, and they have a problem managing their own money. So, but you would basically, in the special needs trust, just like any other trust, they would be in charge of dispersing the proceeds for the benefit of the beneficiary to improve their life. But the purpose would be to make sure they're trustworthy and they got good. It's just much like picking an independent administrator or executor for your estate.
Sure.
You want to pick, if you got 3 or 4 kids and you want to pick one of them as the administrator, pick up the one with the most business sense. and the most prudent. That's probably the best way of doing that. All right, let's go to a break. I hear the music. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Used to be, every sentence began with the same two words.
Hey, honey, have you seen my keys?
And you were depended upon as a reliable source of information.
Hey, honey, is it going to rain today?
But now, two other words can be heard echoing through your home.
Hey, Alexa.
Hey, Alexa.
Hey, Alexa.
And frankly, that's okay, because being replaced means you can get back to doing what you do best. Get the news and information you need anytime. Hey, keep it down. Just say, Alexa, play WWL.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use. All you need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern, conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business,
Okay, I got two callers on the line right now.
learn what matters most to you.
The first is Pete from Hammond, who has a question about liability of a vacant church property.
Okay. And who else?
The second is Bill from Gentilly, and he has a question about mortgage contribution with his siblings.
Okay, gotcha.
Or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Water damage or mold in your home? Who are you going to call? All Dry Water Damage Experts, 504-952-3030. Home flooded, roof leak, pipe break, toilet overflow? Trust All Dry to clean and dry your home properly. 504-952-3030. Insurance accepted.
If you ever have any problems with your AC or heating, you want someone there to help right away. Take it from me, Paul LaGrange, host of the Home Improvement Show. When it comes to repair, you can trust in Burkhardt and Air Conditioning and Heating. Burkhardt provides repairs for any brand of cooling and heating system, and you can call them anytime. Their team has years of experience, and they know how to get you up and running again fast. So when you need help, visit Burkhardt at acpromise.com. And tell them Paul sent you.
I told you the car market is heating up. I told you I was paying more for your car, truck, sports car, exotic. What are you waiting for? The market is only getting hotter, and we want to buy your car right now. Find out why thousands of satisfied customers across the United States put more money in their pocket by going to GiveMeTheVIN.com. And remember, if I don't beat your CarMax offer, I'll send you a check for $100.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey, New Orleans. It's all hands on deck with New Orleans & Company's Hospitality Industry Job Fair on Wednesday, June 23rd at the New Orleans Morrell Convention Center. Come find your good job with great wages and benefits with career opportunities at hotels, restaurants, and other companies. Plus, we have free vaccinations for everyone who wants one. Change your life and come out on June 23rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. For more information, visit neworleans.com/jobs. See you there.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Message and data rates may apply. Come on, one more rep. You got this. 10. There it is. Nice work. You're a beast. Thanks, man. I feel better than I have in years. And I got to tell you, taking Nugenix makes a huge difference for me. Nugenix? That's the testosterone booster with TV ads with Frank Thomas. The big herd, right? Oh, yeah. This is a legit product. The key ingredient is Testofen, which helps boost free testosterone levels and increase lean muscle mass. Well, it's clearly working for you. Hey, are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try for themselves? Yeah, Nugenix is a great way to increase lean muscle and feel stronger with more energy and endurance. Man, I need to get a complimentary bottle of Nugenix. No problem. You just got to send them a text. Text TAP to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix, the #1 selling free testosterone booster at GNC. Nugenix samples are not available in stores, so text TAP to 321-321 right now. Text TAP to 321-321. That's TAP to 321-321.
All things legal on WWL. Consult with Nico and Sunseri now on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870. And don't forget to rewind on the Odyssey app.
Hey, we're back. Dr. Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, All Things Legal on this Father's Day Sunday. Let's go to the phone lines. Let's go to Pete. Pete, you on All Things Legal.
Yes, sir. I just had a question. My church has a vacant piece of property, and for liability reasons, I just wanted to get, if somebody walked on it or got injured or something like that, could they sue us, or what can we do to safeguard from that?
A couple of things you can do. If you got general liability insurance, which shouldn't be too expensive on a lot, you would be covered for that. But in order to be liable, you'd have to have a hazard. It would have to be unreasonably dangerous. And if someone got hurt, it was because it was caused by this unreasonably dangerous hazard. So you have to fulfill those three requirements. Now, part of insurance is a lot of times people sue, and they don't have a very good claim, but you still have to spend a lot of money getting an attorney. So part of an insurance policy is having a defense, even for not a very good claim, as well as indemnity in case you have to pay something out. But what you would want to do if it's uninsured is to make sure there's no open, any hazards, something that's exposed, that or even like an attractive nuisance, like if they had some kind of partially built structure where kids would want to climb on it and then play on it and hurt themselves. So that also could be, they call it the attractive nuisance doctrine.
Yep.
So either insurance, or you try to mitigate that by going through the lot and making sure, cut it, make sure there's no hazards that's unreasonably dangerous.
Yeah, so there's nothing on it. I mean, there's no hazards on it at all.
I mean, if you're concerned, if it's in a residential area, kids playing, you get insurance. The insurance wouldn't be very expensive. If not, just maintain it to mitigate your,
What about a fence on it or a posted sign? Does that help?
The posted sign helps a little bit, but not much. It does help. There's no harm in doing it. So a fence would definitely do it. So that would be a mitigation action to do that. So
you would advise maybe, because the insurance is about $500 a year, but we're paying for nothing really. I mean, we could put a fence up in a couple of years and probably pay for it. Same thing if it costs.
Right. Well, the fence would mitigate it. It wouldn't. Part of it's getting sued, and depending on where you are, some areas are more susceptible where people will sue than others. So it's just a risk management question. If you want to get the insurance, you're covered. If you don't, do things to mitigate it. Make sure there's not a hazard out there where someone can hurt themselves. But if somebody's just playing in a lot and they trip off over their own feet, you're not liable.
Right.
The owner's not liable.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, sir. You've been a big help.
All right, my man, Pete. Thanks. Okay, let's go to Bill's got a question regarding a mortgage. Hey, Bill, you and All Things Legal.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I share a domicile with two siblings.
Okay.
One sibling lives out of state.
Uh-huh.
I'm wondering if I should move out and stop contributing my portion of the mortgage.
Is the property co-owned?
Would that be considered? Say again?
Is the property co-owned by you and your siblings? Who owns the property? Okay. Who's on the mortgage?
My name is number one, but it's three of us.
Three of y'all are on the mortgage? Yeah.
Yes.
So all.
Well, I got everything cranked up after Katrina, and the other two were both out of town originally, and one came and moved, and we shared the domicile. The sibling that lives out of state contributes nothing to the mortgage. Nothing whatsoever.
I know, but what name is the mortgage in? Is it in all three of y'all's names? One of y'all's name? Okay, assuming if the mortgage is in all three of your names, if you quit contributing and the mortgage isn't paid, the mortgage company can go against any of y'all.
even in the event that the sibling from out of state would start paying something.
Well,
Pays nothing.
if the mortgage is being paid, the mortgage company doesn't care who's paying it. They just want the mortgage paid. They don't care where it's coming from, as far as they're concerned.
Like that, would that be considered abandonment by me?
No, you still have that obligation. No, you still have the obligation to pay. Somebody has the obligation to pay on the mortgage. Now, as far as abandonment, if you leave the premises, you may not have a right to move back in if somebody's living there. I mean, you may or may not. I mean, if you change your mind, but it's not abandonment. But I'm not. You see, I'm not. I haven't come across where there's mortgages signed by three siblings. So I'm just answering this question based on the assumption that somehow all three of y'all own this mortgage. I would suspect y'all are not. I'd suspect that one of y'all own the mortgage and the other two aren't. If all three of y'all own the mortgage, as long as it's getting paid, the mortgage company doesn't care. Now, if you're living there and you're paying the mortgage, you may not be able to seek a reimbursement. You can't seek a reimbursement from the other two who don't live there, or anyone who doesn't live there for their pro rata share of the mortgage.
Yeah, I'd always assume that would be considered abandonment if I would.
Abandonment only comes. Legal abandonment only comes with issues dealing with a spousal support, or if you have a covenant marriage, separation from bed and board. We don't have really abandonment issues dealing with a co-mortgagee.
Yeah, co-ownership. If you can't abandon. The only way you can get rid of a property is to sell it or transfer it or quit claim it to someone else. But
I would check the property. I would check the property records, sir, to see whose name is on the mortgage.
Yeah, I would double check this.
I would double check to see whose name is on the mortgage.
Okay.
Then you're all responsible for up to 100% of the mortgage.
Right.
And I can't get anything accomplished or even look into.
Well, what you can do is if you want to get out, you can file partition and proceeding and ask your two other siblings to buy you out. You can do that.
Like I said, the unfortunate thing is the sibling that lives out of state has complete control and influence over the sibling that lives in the domicile.
That's a legal issue. That's not a legal issue. That's a family issue.
That's right.
Yeah, I know.
So, but what I'm saying is, if you, yeah, go ahead.
I can petition the other two to.
Well, you can. Yeah, you can file a petition. It's called Petition for Partition, where any co-owner can sue the other owners to either buy you out or sell the property. Really, say buy me out for my, third of the equity in your case, or we put the property up for sale in a private sale. We sell it, pay off the mortgage, and split everything in three. Very common too.
Now, in order for the other two to buy you out, sir, you would want to make sure they refinance it to get your name off the note because you're still legally liable.
Exactly. Thank you much.
Thank
you much. Very good, as we say in New Orleans. Bye. Very good. I've got that. Very good parent, as they say in New Orleans. Business and parent. That's my grandfather used to say. He said he sounded just like Tom Benson did. Really? They said business. They both said businesses, and he said very good parent. So, in fact, when my kids hear my grandfather on home movies, they're like, "We need subtitles," because he spoke true New Orleans jazz. Some of it comes out in me, but he was all the way. They're much like his peers during that time period. So New Orleans, parent.
I don't even know how they would think it says New Orleans. I don't even
New
know
Orleans,
how to say
New Orleans. Huh? You ever hear an old politician on old history? They say New Orleans. And, there you go. All right, let's go to a break. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, All Things Legal. We'll be right back after this brief time out.
Back to work, back to traffic.
I can't stand bad traffic.
We can make it easier.
They give me my traffic reports.
I'll find out where the traffic jams are.
Because I need to get to and from work every day in as little time as possible.
Traffic reports.
So you don't get stuck in a long line.
Diamonds Direct celebrates the summer of 2021 with a spectacular offer that everyone's loving right now. 5 years, zero interest financing on anything and everything. Upgrade her diamond now and spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Go ahead, splurge on that designer necklace or those diamond earrings. It's easy with this amazing offer. Pick any item, divide the price by 60, and that's your monthly payment. And no down payment is required. You can even finance the sales tax. People are driving for hours to take advantage of this. You get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is famous for, and you spread your payments over 5 whole years. Imagine a $12,000 designer engagement ring or diamond tennis bracelet just $200 a month. It's the smartest and easiest way to buy. And doesn't she deserve it? After all that's happened in the last year, don't miss this incredible opportunity. 5 years, zero interest financing now for a limited time. Only at Diamonds Direct. On Severn Avenue, across from Lakeside Mall.
Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana is the nearcation you deserve. With its great accommodations, outdoor experiences, culinary offerings, gaming, and fun things to do, it is the perfect getaway. Plus, it's affordable and an easy ride. So come, have fun, and press play on a new day. To learn more about Shreveport, Bossier, Louisiana, visit shreveport-bossier.org or visit louisianatravel.com.
Who's that? Is that me?
I'm Erin, and this is my life with California Closets. I purchased a historic home that's over 150 years old. One of the biggest things old houses don't have is closet storage and organization. And in a modern life, you really need to store a lot of things. Working with California Closets was the only way to get exactly what I needed. It really makes my life better. I finally have my dream home, and I couldn't be more thrilled about it.
Schedule your free design consultation today at CaliforniaClosets.com.
Take 30 seconds to save thousands. Go to lacontractor.org and take 30 seconds to make sure the person or company who wants to work on your home or business is licensed by the Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors. How much is 30 seconds worth to you? That's lacontractor.org.
Jason Dornak here for Dornak's Food Center. Family owned, family operated, family served. It's officially hurricane season, and we're here to help you prepare. Come on in and stock up on all your essentials, from modern wine to bourbon, beer, and batteries. Shop local, shop easy at Dornak's Food Center.
You were lied to when buying a timeshare and worn out. You need my help. I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started the timeshare cancellation industry by exposing the ugly truth about timeshare and giving folks the straight facts. I've been fighting the timeshare giants ever since, so no one knows this industry better than me and my team. Today, we have 383 employees and have saved our clients an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Imagine putting those timeshare dollars back in your pocket. If you were told at a timeshare presentation that this was available today and today only, the timeshare was a great investment, or your maintenance fees will never go up, call my office now. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252. 800-921-5252.
One of the most influential figures in the Christian conservative movement mired in an alleged sex scandal.
Welcome back to Gangster Capitalism, Season 3, Jerry Falwell Jr. and Liberty University.
We got nothing to hide. We've operated a squeaky clean organization here for decades.
Please listen and follow Gangster Capitalism, a presentation of C13 Originals, a Cadence 13 studio, available now for free on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, and wherever you get your shows.
All things legal on WWL, AMFM.com, and the Odyssey app. Connect with Doug Sunseri and Albert Nico on the Oakland Heart Jewelers Talk and Text line, 504-260-1870.
All right, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, all things legal. If anybody wants to call you Michelle in North Shore in God's country in Mandeville at the foot of the causeway on the north side, what would be the phone number?
985-624-9697.
And on the South Shore, we're 504-837-1304. Mia, thank you for getting that godforsaken cat out of this house during this broadcast. Thank you. Keep them outside, please.
It's a she.
I'm a cat lover. Huh?
I know you are. She's a sweet cat.
No, she's not. She's. You know what? Cats.
You're gonna listen. You're gonna get texts about people
The cats.
like cats.
You know what? If you want a cat to love you, ignore it.
That's right.
I had a theory. It was the more you ignore it, the more they like you.
I didn't.
Mia's chiming in on the cat.
I was sticking up for the cat. She is awesome.
No, she's not. No cats that are good. Anyway, I know I'm gonna get in trouble.
You're gonna get in trouble.
I love my Father's Day book. I bought for myself about Yogi Bear. I think he's probably the most brilliant man I've ever
All
done.
I can do is just laugh.
I know. Okay, when Yogi was told that a Jewish mayor was elected in Dublin, Ireland, how did he respond?
Only in America.
Only in America. There you go. Jeez, he's so funny. Okay, I have a question from Chris. We don't get the text yet because we don't get the text line because we're broadcasting in beautiful suburban Mandeville,
right,
in the middle of God's country, and so you can text us on a Facebook feed, and so we had Chris. He says, "What does one do when they don't have money to start a succession?" Why don't you tell us what happens with a succession and what some attorneys may do to accommodate that?
Yeah, well, some attorneys will, depending upon what's in the estate, especially if there's property, they will, finance, or just front the cost and then get paid in the back end when the property's sold. And that way it allows families, let's say there's only a piece of property and there's no cash, and they're trying to open up the succession, either probate a will, or if there's no will, do an intestate succession, just sell the property and then put all the heirs in possession of their portion of the funds. Then some attorneys will say, okay, well, sign this contract, I'll take the money once the property's sold.
Right. So for example, if you have mom and dad pass and they want to sell the house, but they really didn't have any cash besides the house, or the funeral took all the cash, and they go to an attorney and say, hey, will you file a succession? They might say, well, we need a retainer of $2,500, $3,000 to do it. I say, we don't have it. So, we do that. If there's a piece of property that the attorney will front the cost, the property would be put up for sale.
Right. And
as the proceeds are distributed to the heirs, all the costs will be paid out, bills, including the attorney's fees.
Right.
So a lot of times, if you, Chris, if you want to open succession, there's a property in it to be sold, or maybe there's some accounts that need to be secured.
Right.
A lot of attorneys will defer their costs because it's going to cost $600-700 just to file the succession,
right,
and court costs, not including the attorney's fees. And if you, so therefore, see if there's a piece of property they may defer it, and that's generally what we do. It works out good for both parties.
Yeah, it does.
And also too, as far as successions are concerned, just some people say, well, what is the purpose of succession? What is the paperwork that needs to be filed to open one up?
Well, I guess it depends upon whether there's a will or there's not a will.
Okay.
It depends upon whether there's assets in the estate that need to kind of be gathered, so you need somebody to administer it, or if you already know what everything is and you're just needing the paperwork to put everybody in possession of their portion.
So basically, I guess the paperwork, initially, if you have a will, it'd be a petition to probate the will.
Right.
And a petition to probate the will is to ask the court to look at the will and adjudicate it as being
a valid will.
A valid will. And then if anybody wants to contest it, they can contest it. There's, I think, 60 days. They contest it within 60 days, then you have to prove that the will is valid. If it's after 60 days, then the person contesting has to prove it's invalid.
Right.
Also, that you need some affidavits. Affidavits of death and heirship. What is that?
Affidavits of death and heirship, or an affidavit that is signed. Usually, we like it to not be by anybody who's going to take from the succession. And it's somebody who is well acquainted with the decedent or the person who died and knows where they lived, how many kids they had, who they were married to. It's basically just to give information to the court that how you are pleading the decedent is correct.
It usually could be the spouse of an heir or a relative, a distant relative.
Right.
And also they
or
have
a neighbor or a friend.
And also there's some oaths saying that whoever's going to be appointed the administrator, that they will
discharge their duties faithfully.
And also there's some verifications that need to be signed. And also there's a preliminary descriptive list, which is what?
Preliminary descriptive list just lists what the feels are in the estate. The assets, the liabilities, the expenses thus far.
Now, there's certain items that don't need to go through succession. Now, a lot of them we talk about insurance policies, 401k, IRAs, but also payable upon death accounts don't have to go.
Interesting that you could bring that up.
Yes, we did. Sort of strategic, but let's talk about it.
So payable upon death accounts are accounts that transfer directly to the beneficiary, kind of like a life insurance, but they're bank accounts. And there's different types of qualifications if you're a credit union or you're a bank. And so it's essentially to avoid probate. And upon death of the owner of the account, the legal theory is it the ownership immediately transfers over, so it never goes into the decedent or the dead person's estate.
Now, why is that easier to get the proceeds from a payable upon death account rather than through a succession?
Because you can get them immediately. It's just like a life insurance policy. You present the death certificate, and then the money's transferred to the beneficiary.
Now, how does the decedent or the person who has the account make a payable? What do they fill out to say, upon my death, so and so gets this money in an account?
The old law was they had to do an affidavit to state who the beneficiary was, that they had no other heirs, legal heirs. Credit unions, they changed the law. Like for credit unions, you just have to fill out the payable upon death card, really, where you're just naming the beneficiaries. Mm-hmm. And with bank accounts, I'm not sure what I'm not sure if you still have to do the affidavit or not. I just know about credit unions.
Yeah. Now, so the advantage is if you have an account that you want to have access to, someone to have access to right after someone passes, or after you pass, a payable upon death account would be a good thing to do.
It would be a good thing to do. Now, they can be challenged. Let's say, for example, you have an account and you do a payable upon death and you leave it to your neighbor. Mm-hmm. But you have a forced heir. Mm-hmm. And that's the only thing in the estate. Then it can be challenged because you can't override succession law. But if your payable upon death beneficiaries are the same beneficiaries that you name in your will, or they're all of your kids, and it's exactly what the law will do, then the ownership would transfer straight over.
And so that's sort of, I guess it's being used more and more now than in the past. Is in a way to allow certain heirs to have access to the money before the succession is opened.
Yeah, and and most times we don't see that much money in bank accounts. Mm-hmm. Usually the vast majority of your estate might be in like 401ks, retirement accounts, stock accounts.
Yeah, some stock accounts are payable upon death.
Yeah, but I was talking about a credit union though.
Right.
Because normally you're only insured FDIC, you're only insured up to a certain percentage. So. Yeah, I don't run across many POD accounts, but every now and then we do.
Okay, so it's just another tool in the toolbox.
That's right.
There you go. Right. All right, let's go to our final break on this Father's Day. It's hot and steamy Father's Day. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, all things legal. We'll be right back after this brief timeout.
Boats require a little TLC. That's why I store my boat in Seabrook Harbor Marine's dry stack facility. And when my boat does need a repair, I turn to the craftsmen at Seabrook. Growing up on the bayou, I learned a lot about boat repair yards. And David and Jeff Lons have the finest repair facility I've ever seen. Jeff, tell us about your capabilities.
Bobby, we are the Gulf Coast's most advanced state-of-the-art yacht and boat repair facility. Be it fiberglass, paint, gel coat, carpentry, mechanical, or electrical repairs, we do it all. We also build custom parts and do complete refits. We are located near the ICW, which makes us accessible from anywhere along
It looks like about 6 minutes till the top of the hour.
Okay,
What
great.
better way to beat the heat than our 24-foot pontoon boat? It's available for half and full day rentals. It's one more reason for us to say, boating made easy.
Seabrook Marina on France Road on the Industrial Canal, just a half mile from the lake, and online at SeabrookHarborMarine.com.
At Community Coffee, we've been making great tasting coffee for over 100 years. But what makes us different isn't just how long we've been around. It's how far we're willing to go in pursuit of the perfect cup. We select only the finest beans and use over 4 generations of family roasting experience to give you the richest, most delicious coffee around. Find Community Coffee at your local grocery store or visit communitycoffee.com to order some today.
Hey, New Orleans, we make it easy. Go to RayBrandAuto.com.
This is Newell for the Ray Brand Auto Group, and now is the best time to sell them your car. You heard me right. The Ray Brand Auto Group has allocated $3.5 million to acquire your vehicle. These deals won't last forever, so hurry up and go to any Ray Brand dealership website and get your KBB instant cash value today.
Go to RayBrandAuto.com.
Water damage or mold in your home? Who are you going to call? All Dry Water Damage Experts, 504-952-3030. Home flooded, roof leak, pipe break, toilet overflow? Trust All Dry to clean and dry your home properly. 504-952-3030. Insurance accepted.
Hey, we want your stuff. DependableStorage.com.
Yeah.
Have you wanted to speak a new language but thought it'd be too difficult or take too much time? Then try Babbel. Whether you want to learn Spanish for future travel plans, French to connect with extended family, or maybe German to land a new job, Babbel works because it's built around real life. It teaches you everyday practical conversations that you'll actually use.
So
All you
wise.
need is 15 minutes a day, and you'll be on your way to confidently speaking a new language in just a few weeks. Babbel is designed by real language experts using a modern, conversation-based technique that makes learning fun, engaging, and best of all, memorable. It starts by teaching you words and phrases. Then sentences gradually get more complex. Soon you're practicing short conversations about real-life topics. And with 14 languages to choose from and lesson topics like travel, business, relationships, and more, you'll be sure to learn what matters most to you. Babbel. Language for life. Learn a new language with ease. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is changing the way you buy home insurance. Now you can go online, get a custom quote, and save both time and money. Learn more at Progressive.com.
I started my adventure as an aerospace medical technician.
Flight medic in the Air Force Reserve.
Satellite system operator.
As a space systems operator.
Demo pilot for the Air Force Thunderbirds demonstration.
We deliver the world's timeliest environmental intelligence data.
Flying to Afghanistan, bringing wounded warriors back to Germany.
We take care of injured personnel on a daily basis.
And flying them from Germany back to the States.
As a member of the Thunderbirds, I get to be a part of the team that passes on the message of the United States Air Force Reserve to the U.S. and the world.
Very exciting career.
One of the greatest things about the Air Force Reserve is all the different opportunities. The training in the Air Force Reserve is second to none. It gave me the opportunity to go to college. The Air Force Reserve actually paid for my education, which allowed me to commission. It was definitely a bonus.
Probably the most exciting thing I've done is support humanitarian relief operations in places like Haiti.
The Reserve gave me the opportunity to learn something totally different from what I did.
Being able to travel.
I enjoy the getaways that I get, and I enjoy the camaraderie and fellowship I share with all my unit mates.
We're really close-knit. We're unique. And Air Force Reserve gave me all those opportunities, and then even more.
Start your adventure in the Air Force Reserve.
Now, more All Things Legal, underwritten by Nico and Sunseri Law Firm. All advice given and opinion shared are solely those of attorneys Albert Nico and Doug Sunseri. Back to WWL.
Hey, we're back. Doug Sunseri, Michelle Demarest Sunseri, All Things Legal. Couple of things. Wanted to do, first of all, you know when LSU lost to Tennessee last week in baseball?
Yep.
If Yogi Bear was in the press conference instead of Paul Maneri in his emotional press conference, and they said, "Why did you lose?" What would Yogi Bear say? "We made too many wrong mistakes."
That's right.
Huh? There you go. Also too, we've had this quarter, I think, had the highest inflation since the late 1970s.
Really?
Oh yeah. I mean, it's not good for people in fixed income, especially.
No.
So we got, well, heck, what do you expect with a $30 million deficit? You're going to have inflation. It's coming. But you know what Yogi Bear would say about that? A nickel ain't worth a dime anymore. All right. Well, also, you had pointed out, 29 years ago.
Yeah.
We had let me see.
Desert Storm.
Yeah, 29 years ago, Desert Storm, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
The brave military men went in there and took care of business pretty quickly. In the context of Father's Day, a lot of the military in World War II, Desert Storm, Vietnam War, World War One, they were fathers with small children, and they went and fought.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of them didn't come back.
Right.
They left their children, their wives. I mean, that's double sacrifice, and we want to thank you. Thank. I always thank that. Go, World War II. When you go to World War II museum, a lot of those men who were in those boats on D-Day.
That's right.
They didn't come back, and they had family, and that's.
And they fought. So what can happen right now is happening right now.
Right.
So everybody has their freedom.
So everybody has their freedom, and they have the freedom to, I mean, war brings out brings out the courage in people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when there's not war, 17-year-olds get triggered by Dr. Seuss cartoons, but when there's war, they'll enlist and say we got to fight for our country.
Okay.
Also, I've been saying this, my history teacher at De La Salle, Brian Altabello. I'm gonna try to get him on, talk about his book, and talk about he'll know things about Declaration of Independence and Independence Day that most people don't know.
So what's the name of this book?
Whiskey, Women, and War. It's it is how the Great War, which was World War One. You see, when they had World War One, they didn't call it World War One because they didn't think there would be a World War Two.
Right,
so they called it the Great War. They only called it that after World War Two. So it's about post World War II New Orleans. It reads, entering World War One in 1917, a burst of patriotism in New Orleans collided with civil liberties. That's interesting. The city, due to its French heritage, shared a strong cultural tie to the Allies and French speakers from Louisiana. So basically, we were fighting the French, but we sort of had an affinity for the French. Meanwhile, citizens of German heritage were harassed by unscrupulous, ill-trained volunteers of the American Protective League, ordained by the Justice Department to shield Americans from its enemies within. And also, it talks about how it shaped Jim Crow laws and in the spread of various districts in New Orleans. So it basically talks about post-war World War I New Orleans and how it shaped Jim Crow laws and the makeup of New Orleans. So if you want to buy it,
where do you buy it? On Amazon?
You buy. Let's see. This was at the University Press of Mississippi. So University Press. It's hardcover. I'm gonna buy one. My birthday's next month.
Really?
Hint.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Hint.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you more in a hint. I'm gonna email it to you. Write Brian, ask him to autograph it. So it's good. It's interesting, but I just in the context of Father's Day and taking that with the military, people who risk their lives, because that's a tough thing. Because to leave your family, I mean, it's tough to be a good father, and then you're going to leave your family to defend everybody else so that they can have a family.
Right.
Is a great sacrifice, and again, we want to thank all the military people who have served. They've done a wonderful job, and we sincerely thank you for that. So, tell me, your dad, Paul, was
he was in the Marine.
You were born at Fort Benning.
He was in the Marines.
He was a Marine?
No, he was in the Army.
No, he had to be in the Army.
Yeah, I was born in Fort Benning, Georgia.
Yeah. So Albert always talks about your father when Albert's first trial was against your dad. And Albert didn't know what he was doing like we all did in our first trial. And your dad actually, in between breaks, used to help him on how to ask questions.
Right.
Even though he was going against your dad.
That's the kind of guy. Sounds exactly like him.
Yeah. All right. So we want to wish all the dads in our family, Frank, Polly, Dean, all the ones who aren't around anymore. Happy Father's Day, and all you fathers, pull out your Hawaiian shirts and barbecue and do all the things you like to.
That's right.
Take your 2-hour nap between 1 and 4, and just enjoy yourself. All right, we'll be back next week. Thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll be back next week in All Things Legal. Be good, be blessed. Happy Father's Day. See you next week.
870 AM WWL New Orleans, 105.3 WWL FM and HD1 Kenner, New Orleans, an Odyssey station.